it's been a long time since we've seen a really great snowboarding game. Since the days of Cool Borders and SS Tricky, they have been few and far between. But Ubisoft has a brand new IP called Steep, and they're hoping to bring snowboarding and other extreme sports to a new generation of gamers. The story in Steep is pretty much what you'd expect in an extreme sports game. You hit the Alps as a newbie and slowly have to work your way up the ranks until you have the recognition of everyone else on the mountain. It's a shame they actually didn't invest more into the story. The recent movie Point Break shows us that there's a lot that can be done in terms of extreme sports and a strong narrative. But I guess you're not going to be playing this for the story, you just want to hit those Alps and do some backflips. Steep's gameplay is broken into 4 different disciplines. There's snowboarding, which for me was my personal favorite. Then there's wingsuiting, and while it's fun at first, it does get boring really fast. Next up you have skiing, which is actually a lot of fun because it's the fastest event you can do in the game and you can hit some real breakneck speeds. And lastly, there's paragliding, which is absolute hogswash and is probably the most boring thing I've ever done in a video game. The game does spice things up by allowing you to scout out new slopes to try out. A lot of these are hidden, and once you find them, you can give them all you have and then challenge your friends to try and beat your score or your time. The only problem is finding a friend that also has Steep. There is, however, an amazing replay feature that lets you capture the action from absolutely every angle. I must say it's very gratifying doing a perfect run and then watching it all back in perfect slow motion. Visually, Steep is an absolutely gorgeous game. The slopes look good enough to eat off, and the powdered snow deforming around your board looks phenomenal. You're going to want to spend a lot of time watching your slow motion replays and snapping a few screenshots to use as possible desktop wallpapers. The frame rate is silky smooth, and you really get a sense of speed as you zip down the side of a mountain. You can also hear your bones crack and echo through the valley when you bail on your face at 100 kilometers an hour. While Steep certainly is refreshing, after 3-4 hours you've seen everything the game has to offer, and sadly there's not much incentive to keep going back. If you were a massive fan of Cool Borders and SS Tricky back in the day, then I think you'll get a lot of fun out of Steep, but sadly for everyone else, unless you really are an enthusiast, there's really not much on offer here. It looks like Steep may have an uphill battle ahead of it trying to grow a fan base, but let's see what a possible sequel might bring.